Okay, we're on the east side of the structure. Faces north. This is the backyard fence. And lawn sprinkler heads should not be closer to this structure, to a house, than 12 inches. These are weep holes. Coming along here, we don't really have weep holes. That one almost has a weep hole, but for the most part, the windows and fenestrations do not have weep holes. There's a little hairline crack between the soldier bricks right there. That little plumbing pipe right there. That's your secondary drain line for your evaporator coil safety pin. And back up here, it's supposed to discharge in an obvious location, and it just about misses that window. It should have been over a few inches. So missing the window like that, that's really not an obvious location. Coming along, these are control expansion joints, and they get dry, and they start pulling apart. And so every year or so, you need to come in and reseal those. Moving on along, this wood mulch, I got some in my house. We all have it, I get that. This wood mulch underneath the drip line by the Structural Pest Control Board. If this was a termite inspection, that would be considered conducive conditions. And right in here is a post-tension cable foundation, and this post-tension end right here, that should have been sealed. Okay, like the others, I'm gonna put a cement carge over it, and that one didn't. That one wasn't sealed. So when the cables, steel tension cables rust, they expand and they can crack your foundation. And when they rust, they get weaker, and if they break, that's kind of expensive. It's nothing that's going to happen tomorrow or the next day, but the day after the next day. Okay, anytime the roof comes down like this, then we should have kick-out flashing right there. We should have kick-out flashing right there. Alright? Otherwise, there's really nothing that keeps the water from rolling down the side of the structure. In home ownership 101, all roofs leak, all walls leak. We design them to shed water faster than they accept it. So you really don't have that there. Coming along here, this is the doorbell. Okay, it's illuminated, and it should have been sealed. Sealed to help prevent moisture infiltration into the system. Now this is in a covered portico. So it could be argued, I'd like to see one, but it could argue that an in-use cover or bubble cover isn't necessary. As it is, when you open, obviously it was necessary to have a weather cover. And if you plug Christmas lights in there or what, it wouldn't close, and so it's not a weather sealed. So it was important enough that it had a weather cover. So it could be argued that it's important enough that an in-use cover should have been installed there. Coming along, okay. Your all your light fixtures on the exterior wall should have been sealed. Help moisture from coming in. Okay, we do not have weep holes over the garage door entry. Cannot make a positive determination that this lintel, that's this metal part right here, cannot make a positive determination that it extends at least 6 inches in. It might. Don't know. Okay. And over here, back there where the siding is coming in. Excuse me, it's called a cornice. And that should be sealed right there. Right in there. On the bottom here, okay, that's supposed to be open because you gotta let the water out. But you don't want to let it unnecessarily water in. Okay. We're in the garage. This door, this manual door lock should have been disabled to help prevent accidental damage to the door. This gasket right down here is torn and compromised. Okay, so leaves and things will blow into your garage. It drives my wife nuts. She had pull handles installed inside the doors. Okay. GFCI protected receptacles. They should be labeled GFCI protected. I peel my labels off, but you need labels. This is the main water shutoff valve to the house structure. All right. If you have an emergency, this is where you go. Perpendicular, that's off. Parallel, that's on. That's how you turn the water off in an emergency. Coming over here, this is an electric water heater. Okay. For the most part, it looks pretty good. You're not supposed to have more than 5 90-degree bends. 1, 2, 3. You got another one going down 4. You got one going out of the house 5. Got one pointed towards the ground 6. You get more than 5 bends on this. Okay. GFCI. This is your electric service panel. It's 200 amps. Looks like it's in pretty good shape. You've got the protective boots on there. Neutrals labeled. You might see any double lugging. No white hots. It's all no bonding. No bundling. The bonding location should have been labeled in here. Okay. We get it. It's right down here. It's UFR. But it should be labeled. And these screws, they're fast and they're tight. I get that. But they don't have the tension strength that nails do. Alright? Shear strength, excuse me. So, if the structure was to experience a tornado, these screws would be more likely to pop. And a nail would be more likely to hold the panel in place. The wires are not supposed to be in direct contact with the panel. Okay? The panel cover. Excuse me, not supposed to be in direct contact with the panel cover. You're not supposed to have more than 1/8 of an inch. Some say 1/4. You're not supposed to have more than a 1/4 inch gap between the cabinet and the wall. For what I see, that's fairly decent. Doesn't make it right. Doesn't make it right at all. Okay, this is the lawn sprinkler system. Alright. Care and use manual right there. We do not have, we do not have the stations labeled. Station 1 for the front parkway, whatever. But they're not labeled. This is the check valve for the lawn sprinkler system. Okay. And it's lined with gravel, and it looks pretty good actually. It's supposed to be serviced every once in a while. And those are the isolation valves. Alright, this is the main shutoff valve. And then the meter is out here in the parkway. I've got a still image of it. And it's electronic. So it's it's difficult to determine whether it's leaking or not. Okay, coming along here. We have almost 80 psi. Almost. '80's maximum, by the way. Get my pliers to put some pressure on that. These are the control wires for the lawn sprinkler system, and they're exposed to the UV rays from the sun. That should have been mounted a little better. Okay, electric power below grade. Hold on real quick. These are better. Alright. Haven't lost anybody yet. This is counting boredom. This is the grounding rod. Okay. For the system, and then you got the UFR that we already looked at. This is what was called as a bubble cover. Alright, this is the condensing unit. The roof video from earlier, the water can splash right on top of it, right there. This is electric disconnect. It's not supposed to be behind it. Alright. I usually like to do a little more prep work than this. Okay, can you see up in there? Let me get a still image. Make sure it's alright. Unit is 14, maybe 14 and a half SEER. R410. Four tons. Okay. Moving along. We got some sprinkler heads that are damaged. Alright, I'm going to run the sprinkler system in a little bit. I'll report back to you on that. But we know that we got some damaged sprinkler heads. We got some damaged sprinkler head parts. Okay. Moving on along. We have siding in the back of the house. Brick at the front. Best foot forward. Alright. So come along here. These windows. Windows and door fenestrations, okay? They're supposed to have flashing on top of them, okay? That's a little better. The door. It's called Z-bar flashing because it's got a shape like a Z. That edge of that board right there, it should be painted a little better. Looks like we've got any water behind the paint right in there. So it's not flashed right. Vinyl frame. This one window screen's torn. Okay. This is the master bathroom window. This is the back faucet. Alright. Lead free. That's the exterior. Continuous soffit vents.